Today, Donald Trump making a new unusual pitch for the next G7 summit to be held at his Doral Resort in Florida, tweeting today that it's a false and nasty rumor that there are bed bugs at his resort, but it's more than a rumor. Trump actually settled a lawsuit back in 2017 over bed bugs at Doral. A traveler sued the resort after his back, face, and arms were riddled with bites after a night's sleep in one of the luxury suites. And then there's this, 524 health code violations reported at Doral between 2013 and 2018. Inspectors found approximately 20 to 25 live roaches on the walls, baseboards, and floors in the kitchen food prep area. It was so bad they recommended the kitchen be actually shut down. But of course, this problem is bigger than bed bugs and cockroaches. Trump is pushing a plan that basically forces foreign governments to pay him to attend a diplomatic summit. This at a time when foreign diplomats seem to be seeking favor with Trump by spending lots of money at his hotel in Washington, D.C. It's hard to remember now, but before Trump took office, he promised that he'd distance himself from his businesses as president. Watch.
My two sons, who are right here, Don and Eric, are going to be running the company. They are going to be running it in a very professional manner. They're not going to discuss it with me. These papers are just some of the many documents that I've signed, turning over complete and total control.
All right, so these continued conflicts of interest prove that's not the case. In fact, moments ago, reports that Trump's Attorney General, Bill Barr, just booked Trump's D.C. hotel for a $30,000 private holiday party. Joining me now is former federal prosecutor Joyce Vance and former U.S. ambassador to Russia, Michael McFaul. Is no bedbugs, Joyce, the best pitch for a world summit, you think?
This is such a theater of the absurd. It's so hard to imagine that we're at a point where the president is using his official role as the leader of our country to hawk his failing resort and force foreign leaders to pay for it. But, you know, joking aside, this violates the Emoluments Clause. It's not a close call. It shouldn't be tolerated. The fact that we're here, I think, tells us how over time we've accepted these small degradations of norms from Trump to the point where something so outrageous can be taking place.
Yeah, and joking aside, you do raise up a really interesting point about the Emoluments Clause, but does this Doral controversy really reveal that he was never serious about separating his business from the office of the presidency?
He's shown absolutely no inclination to create separation. It's unprecedented for a president not to put his asset-producing income into a blind trust, a trust that he has no control over. Trump said he would do that during the campaign. Then it became this sort of nebulous process where he would give his adult sons control. We know he's not separate. He spends time on the properties. He continues essentially to use the office of the presidency as a way to advertise for these businesses that create income for him and his family. It's a for-profit presidency.
Ambassador McFaul, Trump has name-dropped by our count his properties almost 70 times. As president of this country, if you are a foreign diplomat, if you are a foreign minister, or even just a foreign government, what kind of message does that send every time he is dropping one of his properties subtly in his speeches?
It diminishes the president of the United States of America. It diminishes our commander-in-chief. It diminishes the leader of the free world. There's no other way to think about it. That's the way people are reacting. That is the way other leaders are reacting. And there's simple solutions. There are better solutions. There's something called Camp David, for instance. The fantastic setting, fantastic security. President Obama hosted the G8 summit there in 2012. That would be an appropriate special place to hold the G8, not this kind of, whatever location, Doral or other places. It's just not appropriate for the president of the United States.
Ambassador, I'm curious to get your thoughts really quickly in terms of how Russia has been front and center of the G7 debate, with the reporting that the president behind the scenes has been fervently trying to reinstate them part of this group without nothing in exchange, without any kind of commitment from them either to stop the cyber meddling, withdraw from Crimea. How do you square that peg? How do you explain what he is doing?
I can't explain it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to try to explain it. It is not in America's national security interest for the President of the United States to be giving a gift to Putin and getting nothing in return. And by discussing this idea, when Putin has not left Crimea, he has not left eastern Ukraine, he has not changed any of his behavior that got him thrown out in the first place, again, it just undermines the President of the United States. He is supposed to be defending our national interest, not Vladimir Putin's.
And to that point, Joyce, let's bring it back to William Barr for a second. Bill Barr booking a $30,000 holiday party at Trump's hotel. On the surface, that may look innocent, a holiday party booked at a lavish D.C. hotel, but it also seems to be very sinister that it is at a Trump hotel.
The reporting on this says that Barr went to DOJ ethics officials and was told that it was okay to do this. Other large hotel properties in D.C. were already booked for this day. But even if it's technically okay, this makes you stop and think about whether or not this attorney general really has the judgment that it takes. He went into this knowing that if it became public, it would create more controversy over the appearance of impropriety and whether the Justice Department was independent from the president or simply carrying out policies and now personal practices that were an effort to curry favor with the president. It's bad for the Justice Department. And, you know, Eamon, if I work for DOJ and I want to give my boss a holiday gift, I'm limited to $20 under DOJ ethics rules. Last time I checked, $30,000 was a lot more than $20.
Yeah, and there's no doubt that the Trump organization would benefit from any party at that hotel venue. Ambassador McFaul, finally to you, sir. Russia blocked 2 U.S. senators from visiting that country. Is this how Putin responds to Trump's praise? I mean, again, Vladimir Putin banning American senators from entering Russia. On the other hand, you got the White House inviting the Russian president to a G7 summit, or wanting to at least.
Well, first, just on its merits, this is bad. We need to have conversation. We need our senators to go there. As somebody who's banned from traveling to Russia because of Vladimir Putin, I just think this doesn't mean you're going to agree, but we have to have communication. But secondly, it's a great point. You know, why is it always on us that we need to improve relations with Russia? What has Vladimir Putin done in the last 2.5 years? Not one thing has he done to try to improve relations with the United States. And this is just one more instance where he's not doing that, which all the more begs the question, why is President Trump so anxious to please Putin? And as I said before, I no longer am even going to try to explain it.
Yeah, one of the unknown mysteries of this administration. Joyce Vance, Ambassador Michael McFaul, thank you both.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.